Alright guys, I am pumped because we got a new player in the virtual reality game. You guys know you got Sony with Project Morpheus, of course Oculus with the Rift, you even have Razer with their headset, and we even have Microsoft with their HoloLens, and now we have HTC and Valve teaming up to make the HTC Vive. They just announced this today. It's a huge deal. This is just another mainstream company that's going to bring VR into the mainstream consumer market. Let's talk about what it has in terms of specs. I've got them right here. So each eye of this thing has 1200 by 1080 pixels. That's really high resolution. We're not exactly sure what Oculus Crescent Bay has. That's their most recent one. We're not exactly sure what it is. We know that one is probably at least HD overall. So we're gonna have to see how that compares to Crescent Bay because we don't know the specs on that exactly. So it's 90 Hertz, which is higher than the current Oculus DK2, but it might be the same refresh rate as the Crescent Bay. I don't think we know that either. 90 Hertz is it's a really good refresh rate because the higher the refresh rate, the less chance people are gonna get sick. Okay, now it's got a ton of different sensors. There's accelerometer, it's got laser positioning. I think that's what the two cameras on the front are for, and then gyroscoping. So this actually has 1/10 of a degree head tracking accuracy. So this is really accurate. You know Valve is gonna be making this top quality. They want the best experience, so people aren't gonna be getting sick when they're moving around. Speaking of moving around, they're gonna have the Steam VR base. And what this means is you're gonna actually be able to walk around. So we know Oculus, they say seated experience. Oculus does not want you walking around with the Oculus Rift on, but the HTC Vive, they are actually advertising that you will be able to walk around a 15 by 15 foot area. So this is a huge deal. It's something different than Oculus. Oculus might have to reimagine what they want to do and have it still seated, because if Steam and Valve, they want you to actually be able to move around, that's going to be a huge selling point above the Oculus. Okay, another spec, you get the headphone jack. So I think this is actually something that Crescent Bay has as well. Crescent Bay has built-in headphones, but it also will let you use your own headphones. And then of course the Vive has a headphone jack. I do not believe it has built-in headphones. Now they want to put this out in holiday 2015. This is a big deal because Oculus has not announced yet when they want to release Crescent Bay. Which was probably going to be the consumer version. They haven't announced that yet. This is going to be putting big pressure on Oculus and the other virtual reality companies to get this out the door by holiday season. So they've got quite a bit of time. It's going to put the pressure on. I think we're going to see not just this, but a few more virtual reality headsets coming out by the holiday season. So again, I talked about the other big players in the virtual reality. Now Microsoft's a little bit different because they have their hologram thing, but I think that's going to be a huge addition too. That's going to be really cool. I'm interested to see how that plays out. Sony has their thing, Razer, and of course Oculus. So now we've got really 4 big players in the game. This is going to be really pushing VR into the mainstream. It's been pretty much unanimous, everyone who's been using the Oculus and other virtual reality, that virtual reality is awesome. I don't think I've heard anyone, besides the people who kind of get motion sickness, everyone pretty much agrees that it's amazing. Now, the biggest problem, I think, is going to be dealing with those people who get motion sickness, because even if the technology improves in the future, these people might get this motion sickness initially and then say, oh, hell with it, and not want to use it ever again. So it's really important the first time someone puts on one of these headsets, they can't get motion sickness. They have to have an amazing experience right from the get-go. That's going to be the biggest challenge for these companies, and I think Valve is up to the task. You know Valve time, they don't put stuff out until it's ready. We've not seen Half-Life 3 yet. It's been how many years in development because they say it's not ready. I do not think Valve and HTC are going to put something out there if they're not ready, especially when they don't really have a reason to release it earlier than they have to, because there hasn't been any other consumer releases of virtual reality headsets. I could see if maybe Oculus already had theirs out there, then Valve was like, all right, well, we better get ours out there now. We haven't seen any out yet, so it's a really bold move, and I think they're definitely going to not release it unless it's going to be amazing. So I trust that it's going to be an awesome experience. I cannot wait to use it. So this brings up the big question, who is going to be the leader in virtual reality? Oculus has maybe had a little bit more experience, at least from what the public knows, but we know that Valve has been working on virtual reality for a long time as well. In one corner, you got John Carmack, the developing genius who brought you Doom, and he's been invaluable. He's been invaluable to Oculus. He's been able to solve a lot of problems with latency. And of course, in the other corner, we have the legendary Gabe Newell. Now, he's probably not directly involved in a lot of the development, but his reputation precedes him on this one. So, who's gonna win on this one, guys? Oculus with Carmack or Steam and Valve with Gaben? Let me know what you guys think. I'm really interested to hear which one you guys want. Honestly, I have the DK2 and it's amazing. I hear the Crescent Bay is even more amazing. However, from what I see with this this HTC Vive, this is going to be also amazing. If you want to check out more information, their website is htcvr.com. That's the one they talked about in the press conference. So let me know what you guys think. Which one are you going to get? Maybe even both. I think if the price point is good, you might even be able to get both. I'm going to probably get both just so I can compare them. So I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say again. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. I'm going to try to make new videos as often as I can. And that's pretty much all I had to say about this. So thanks for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Have a good one.